roll the dice. If you're gonna try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're gonna try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. Could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision. It could mean mockery, isolation. Isolation is a gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it, do it, do it. All the way, all the way. You will ride life to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
Pick up your damn suffering and bear it. And try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth.
Pain or damage don't end the world, or despair, or fucking beatings. The world ends when you're dead. Until then, you got more punishment in store. Stand it like a man and give some back.
God, there's reasons to be resentful about your existence. Everyone you know is going to die. You know, you too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens. You make everything you're complaining about infinitely worse. There's this idea that hell is a bottomless pit, and that's because no matter how bad it is, some stupid son of a bitch like you could figure out a way to make it a lot worse. So you think, well, what do you do about that? Well, you accept it.
I did not feel that pain. I did not care if I was bleeding on my knees, because I know that pain is temporary, but the film is permanent. And I explained that to the director, so this is why I try to tell you, always discover your vision, and the rest will follow. Never ever think small. If you're going to accomplish anything, you have to think big. You have to go and shoot for the stars. The biggest challenge most people have is because they think small. And the reason why people think small and why they choose small little goals is because they're afraid to fail. They know that if you shoot for a big goal, then the chances of failing are very high. And they're afraid of failing. It's one of the most common things why people are frozen and why they can't make a move in life, because they're scared of failing. I say to myself, hey, I'm not worried about failing, because that's part of life. You're not going to go and win everything. And how far can you fall? Look at this. This is the ground. That's as far as I can fall. And you know something? That the only time you really consider the failure is if you fall and you don't get up. But if you get up, you never consider the failure. So I never considered myself a failure. I always considered myself a winner, even though I fell every so often. But I always got up, and I always moved forward. This is the important thing. I never had any patience, of course, for thinking small, because in German we have a saying, wenn schon, denn schon. And that means that if you do something, then go all out and do it well. And this was not just the case in bodybuilding. I didn't just want to be a bodybuilding champion. I wanted to be the greatest bodybuilder of all times. I wanted to have the most muscle, the most muscle of all times, the most definition. I wanted to win the most trophies, the most world championship titles. I just wanted to be the best. And the same is also in movies. I didn't just think about being in movies. No, I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to have above the title billing. I wanted to become the highest paid entertainer. I basically wanted to be another John Wayne. What's wrong with that?
And I was taught commitment is staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood that you said it in has left. Because we say things when the mood is right? But when the environment and the mood changes, we back off of it.
How can I work hard for something and my performance is not based upon the outcome? How can I work and my effort and my motivation and my drive is not based upon what the product will be, but more so based upon me taking pride in what I do? And so I came up with this thing called process over product, and I firmly believe the process saved my life. And what I mean by the process, I'm talking about the way I handle my business on a daily basis and the way I go about every single aspect of my life. I live by this thing called empty the bucket. And when people hear it, they think it's a cute slogan, empty the bucket. But what they don't understand, it's an unspoken law. Empty the bucket, it's an unspoken law of accountability and responsibility to me on this earth and my existence and everybody that is connected to me. I may be crazy, but I don't know. I just believe that I'm supposed to give everybody that is connected to me the best version of me. I just believe I deserve to give my wife and my children the best version of me. I just believe the people that I'm of service to on this earth, I deserve to give them the best version of me.
I may be crazy, I don't know, but I just believe my 5-year-old son and my 6-year-old daughter, they deserve the best version of me. I may be crazy, I don't know, but I just believe my wife that I've been with ever since we were in the 5th grade, she deserves the best version of me. I may be crazy, I don't know, but my 3 little sisters, I just believe they deserve the best version of their big brother. I may be crazy, I don't know, but the people I'm of service to on the face of this planet, they deserve the best version of me, and I'm not going to give them any less.
I live by this thing called the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. You see, the reason people quit, they don't take pride in what they do. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And I'm not just talking about business, I'm talking about winning simultaneously in every aspect of life. I'm not concerned with a person that does well in one aspect of their life and they can hang their hat there and say, man, I made a lot of money. You made a lot of money, you're a public success, but you're a private failure. What good is it to make a lot of money and you don't want to go home to your family? What good is it to make a lot of money and you don't take care of your kids? What good is it? You're a public success, but you're a private failure. And so how can we win simultaneously and take pride in everything that we do?
I have come to learn that if you don't take it by force, you won't take it at all. You sit in the cut and wait for good things to happen, spend years, and life passes them by because they are not aggressive enough. I'm not talking about physical fighting, but I'm talking about that aggressive nature that causes you to not allow the enemy to take over your stuff.
You are a part of something that transcends all the details of your business. You prove it every day that it works. And you prove it by overcoming the obstacles that you have to deal with. There are all sorts of people who want to break your faith. Sometimes they're in your own family. And sometimes they're just so-called good friends who think you're crazy for doing what you're doing. But you see, you have decided to take charge of your life. You have decided that you are going to change it. You're not going to wait for the government. You're not going to wait for some school or something else to happen. You are going to change your situation. I spent my life at it. It's been pretty good. But it wasn't always easy. Business isn't. Life isn't. But to those who can overcome the obstacles, rise up when difficulties arise, are the ones who win the prize. Everybody starts at the bottom. And there is no advantage to starting 10 years ago as opposed to starting today. In fact, it's better today than it was then. So stick with it. Find our way through it. Just find out an answer. It works, folks. This business works for those who work it.
roll the dice. If you're gonna try, go all the way.
While traditional paths may seem harder to find, that also means that you may learn sooner than most generations the hard lesson that you must always make the path for yourself. There is no secret society out there that will tap you on the shoulder one night and show you the way. Because the true secret is your life will not be defined by the society that we have left you. To paraphrase Robert Bolt, society has no more idea of what you are than you do, because ultimately, it has only your brains to think with. Every generation must define itself, and so make the world that suits itself. So, if you must find your own path, and we have left you no easy path, then decide now to choose the hard path that leads to the life and the world that you want.
Essentially, and I would say this to anybody, is that, you know, it's really, it's easy to embrace hopelessness when things seem insurmountable. And yet, it's actually just a matter of time until all of the elements come together for things to be all right. I mean, I believe that, you know, most difficult situations will resolve themselves if you are persistent and if you don't give up entirely. And that's what I never did. I never gave up.
Every pursuit, no matter how glamorous it may seem, no matter how exciting it feels to you, no matter how much you feel like you were born to do it, comes with a shit sandwich. And so the question is not, what do I love? The question is, what do I love so much that I don't mind eating the shit sandwich that comes along with that thing? So for me, in my life, writing is the thing that I love. And the shit sandwich was the 7 years that I was not getting published. So if you go into this thing thinking, if I follow my bliss, and I live my dream, and I stand in my truth, then everything will be great. It doesn't mean everything will be great. It just means at the end of the day, when you check in with yourself and you go, in the end, on the balance, is this still better than not doing it? And the answer is still, yeah, this thing is still better than not doing it, then you're on the right path.
I want to talk about risk. As a guiding principle, life shrinks and life expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk. Yeah, I've made some really stupid decisions in my career for my entire career. On a broad plane, they've all worked out. Every time I've quit my jobs, which I've done every time I've had a job, people that I trust most, the people that I love, all advised against it. My dad told me not to move to New York City because it was such a risk. And every time I took these bigger risks, the opportunity for a larger payout was always there. Life is like this super temporary, mega fragile thing. You only get like a nugget of time to really pursue the things you care about. And my rule is that the right time is always right now. To put a little meat on these bones, this new company that I don't really talk about, this new company is the biggest risk I've ever taken. I took 5 years of my life to build my advertising career, and I made like a lot of money. I've been doing really great. Look at my YouTube channel, go all the way back. The last branded content thing you'll see was in February of 2014. I ditched it all to pursue something I knew nothing about, this huge risk. And I did it at a time when my wife was pregnant and there was all of this vulnerability and all this scariness in my life. And even now, my dad said, Casey, that's crazy. You've got a good thing, don't let it go. But I know that someday I won't be able to do this. I know that the time is now. The right time is always now. So I had to do it. That's how I feel about risk in general. And that's what the struggle has always been for me, is like identifying risk, identifying fear, and then just smashing through it. Because a fear is looking back and wishing that I had done these things. The most dangerous thing you can do in your career, the most dangerous thing you can do in life is play it safe.
Find yourself in job and job and job, and you want to do great work in the world. You're giving it your best, but some little voice inside is saying, this isn't me. This isn't me. And I kept having that voice until finally I left the corporate world and started my own business.
End up doing what you planned on doing, and you're young, and it's not written in blood that you're gonna make it, and you move from house to house because you ran away from home at 17. You move from place to place with family members and friends and everything, trying to do music, and then you end up doing it. Then you end up on the Forbes list and working with all the people that inspired you, like Ice Cube and the Doors and Roger Troutman, and it's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So that was the most monumental to me.
The same criticism that they get for doing anything outside of what's considered normal, that goes for anybody that tries anything outside of what's normal. And I think people need to realize that people are gonna talk shit, they're gonna criticize. But what's more important? What's more important is that you do what it is you think you need to do instead of changing your path for everybody else's happiness. Because the reality is the people who judge you on doing anything different are the same people who can't do it themselves. And I feel like so many people get so wrapped up into what other people think that they ruin their entire lives living a life that they don't even want to live. Everybody's got to find their own path. And you have to realize that when you get on that path, you're going to fuck up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad fuck-ups, like really bad. But as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to take those as lessons about, and you're smart enough to not make those same mistakes over and over and over again, there's really nothing that you can't do.
Life is too short, and I feel like everyone needs to live, love, and laugh, and understand, like, you're constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing. Things are constantly putting people in a position where they can get better and do better. We're doing a lot better. a lot better. You're gonna have bumps in the road. You're gonna have things that happen that make you have a hiccup and question, are we doing better? But that's life. That's the course of life. But I'm a positive person. I'm a realistic and positive person. So I see where we are. I'm happy with where we are, and I know where we can be 5 or 10 years from now. It can continue to get better and grow.
One of my greatest inspirations or things that I would feed off of basically was just obviously people not believing in the cloud of doubt that kind of I felt hung over my head, and wanted to just prove everybody wrong. You know what I mean? I wanted to make it, and I was gonna make it regardless of what anybody said.
In the main, people don't change. You can change, and you'll find it much easier to change if you're with positive people. Very hard to change with people who don't want you to change, who want you to be the person that you were. But in the main, people don't change. So sooner or later in life, you're often going to have to make some hard choices. In the short term, be the person, as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Be the kind of person that you want to see. And if that does not bring people around, then be prepared to go to the next step. Be prepared to walk away.
If you don't know, now you know. It's true. Your friends, family, and loved ones will be the first ones to try and talk you out of greatness. When you're ready to do something and try something new that's out of your comfort zone, that's out of your norm, it's always the one you're dating, the one you're married to, the one that's in your family, your friends in your immediate circle, that will always try and talk you out of doing something special and significant.
I don't ever feel the responsibility to impress people with my music. I do feel like I gotta get in and do my music to the best of my ability, you know? And I feel like I'm my worst critic, you know? If I'm not digging it, the critics out there can basically like kiss my ass straight up, because they know nothing about what goes into this. They're just people with a 9 to 5.
What is a secret of achieving goals? You know, how do you really quantitate it? How do you put it down so every day you know if you're going in that direction of success, or maybe you're altered? You know, and people are like, man, is it your genetics? Is it your potential? Is it, you know, when it comes down to it, success has nothing to do with potential. It's all about the perseverance of somebody. That will override any endeavor. If you throw shit against the wall, eventually something will stick. You guys that have this potential, don't have this potential, you know, that shit dies. What continues to last forever is a perseverance to always show up. That's what champions do. Every single champion is the same as every ordinary person. The only differential is that they show up to the event every single day. They see failure as a learning curve. They welcome failure. You learn more from failure than you ever will from success. So showing up and getting knocked on your ass, finding intestinal fortitude, stand back up and re-face that endeavor is going to be the overriding factor that makes a difference. How do you know when you're doing those things? The small things in life add up to those big monumental things. When I say the small things, it's a character building block. That your name means something. You hold value to your name. If you drop trash on the ground, you pick it up because that's your responsibility. You hold value to yourself. When you shake someone's hand, you look them in the eye, you give them a firm handshake because you're here for a purpose. Everything you do it to the best of your ability. It doesn't matter what you're doing, it's the fact that you're doing it, so therefore it means something to you. That's going to build a legacy, because you know the title out there doesn't mean shit. You win the title, fine. That title will not get you another title. What you're trying to build is legacy. You know, footprints behind you that are left for motivation for someone else to follow. Legacy is built daily through the character, through the willpower, the code of conduct within somebody. And that's the perseverance, showing up every single day. That will always achieve your goal. It doesn't matter what you're born with. It doesn't matter your potential, how much, you know, the silver spoon of money you have. All of that can be attained if you show up and you're willing to risk failure for success.
Walk into bold and uncomfortable doors without having fear and rejection, without having fear of the word no. Do you know how many people have had visions, ideas, and huge career moves that they were about to make, and they allowed the word no to stop them from changing the landscape of their life and their family lives? So many people are afraid of rejection and the word no. It is the saddest shit I've ever witnessed in my life. So I no longer have fear of rejection. I no longer have fear of the word no. I no longer give power to the word no. I could care less about you rejecting me, disowning me having visions and ideas and you not seeing what I see. I see what's not there. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. I see what's not there. I have visions. My visions are bold and unapologetic.
Are you serious? Why? We got a serious matter here to discuss. We haven't come with the latest 10 stories. We've come with a serious matter. And I want you to take on that serious tone. You've got some serious products that answer a serious need out there in the marketplace. And I'm asking you to take it serious. Take your own future serious. What you can do for your family, take it serious. This is serious business. So that's the first thing I want to bring to you. To have the best year ever this year, so that you can say, I made my best and finest contribution to see that goal reached. Not just for the figure, but for all that the figure represents, for the healing it represents, for the restoration of broken lives that it represents. And people that are discouraged about their life and their chances, now encouraged on a new road, for all that that represents.
I want to introduce y'all to this very simple concept. That if you want it, you gotta go get it. Some of y'all got this concept of what you want to accomplish. You know, some of y'all are motivated by broke. I'm broke, I'm stuck, I'm fucked up, I can't do nothing. Some of y'all are motivated by just wanting to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Other folks are motivated by materialistic things. It's a very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it. And what does that mean? It means that you trying to convince me or anybody else that you want to get it when you partying all week. As soon as you get any kind of money, you buying a bunch of shit that you really can't afford. What you got the latest iPhone for?
See, everything about what you're doing and the moves that you're making is getting in the way of the big picture. Everything. You still clubbing, you still partying, you still popping bottles with models. You doing the most already, and you ain't even on. You trying to convince everybody around you that you on, but you not on. You know the truth, and I know the truth. You ain't on. Most of the people who really ain't got it, they go out of their way to try and show people that they have it. It's time to stay focused. It's time to decide, fuck clubs, fuck partying, fuck trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you not clubbing? Like every time I text you and invite you to go do something fun and cool, you always studying? Because I'm trying to get it. Let me tell you something, homie. This is what I hope. I hope this video makes you uncomfortable. Because I look at this as a mirror. You get to look yourself in the mirror and ask hard and tough questions. What am I doing every single day with my life, creating obstacles, challenges, and distractions for myself